Hello and welcome back to Major Moves in Leadership. My name is Rochelle Bridges. I am Major Bridges in the Army, and we are discussing effectively communicate to minimize misunderstandings. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what does that mean? For my leaders out there that's killing the leadership game, you have it down. You continuously disseminate information to your team, effectively executing your mission or task that's aligned with higher's vision. For my leaders out there that are new to the leadership role or new to the leadership game, you have aspirations of being in a leadership role. You're saying to yourself, I communicate effectively with my team. I disseminate information as soon as I get it promptly. I send out tasks and I may or may not follow up. However, you're thinking to yourself, this is an area where I need to improve. For my leaders out there that have been in leadership roles for an extended amount of time, you're thinking to yourself, I said what I said, and that's all I'm going to say. For those leaders, I have something to add to your kit bag. Now, you already know that leadership is not about you. Exceptional leadership is a lifestyle. Effectively communicating means that you are listening more than you speak. So there are some things that you need to do as the leader or operating in a leadership capacity to ensure that you are continuously setting the conditions for your team to be greater. First, you identify your message, the task or the goal that needs to be executed by your team. It's clear and it's concise. Second, you understand how your team members process information. You understand because you've built those relationships. You know that building relationships is important before you require buy-in. Third, you know that there are necessary steps that have to be taken in order to execute that task or that mission. The fourth thing is you are assessing how effective those steps are in executing that task or those goals that you've collectively set with your team that are nested with higher. Because you already built those relationships. It's continuous, right? You know that building those relationships comes before the buy-in. You're continuously setting the conditions for your team to be greater. You are praising in public, correcting in private. You are cultivating a winning environment. You're sharing that information by not creating a single point of failure. You know what motivates your team, so you're doing the work. So now you need to effectively communicate. Now, I know how important it is to communicate with your team effectively. I've been in situations where I thought I've said what I had to say, that I've given a task and it was thoroughly understood, and it was not. I had over 50% of my organization that did not have a clue what they were supposed to do. So I would encourage you as leaders or aspiring leaders to do what I had to do myself. I had to go individually and I had to go to my team and I had to check for understanding. Now, when I checked for understanding, I did not ask them directly, depending on the team member, whether or not they understood. I asked them, hey, what are your thoughts about this? What are your thoughts about the mission? What do you think your part is in the mission? And in that process of me listening, actively listening, without trying to respond, but listening for understanding, I was checking for understanding. And I may have team members who were spot on. They knew exactly what they needed to do to execute that task. I had team members that they were completely confused, way in the field. And they were like, they had no idea what they were supposed to do. At this point, leaders, I am encouraging you to clarify what the task is and the role that each individual team member has to play or contribute to the overall mission or task accomplishment. This is your opportunity. Now, when you're effectively communicating, you're not necessarily communicating to respond. You're not listening to respond. You're effectively communicating what the task or the vision is. You're checking for understanding by listening for understanding and feedback. Now, you have team members that they're more direct. You may have to come right out and say, hey, do you understand what the mission or the task is? And they may say, yes, I do, or no, I don't. However, you've built those relationships before you require buy-in. You know how to approach each team member, and you are adjusting accordingly. And you're going to follow up, and you're going to assess the effectiveness. You may or may not have to adjust, which is the sixth thing, right? If you have to adjust, you adjust accordingly, because you continuously set the conditions for your team to be greater. Effectively communicating, you are also looking for those nonverbals, because you have team members that may not be as verbal as others. So you're looking for those nonverbal communication as well, to check to ensure that they understand what it is they need to get done. Now, once again, this has been your major moves in leadership. Effectively communicate to minimize misunderstandings. My name is Rochelle Bridges. I am Major Bridges in the Army, and I encourage you to like, love, and share, and I look forward to your feedback. Have a great leadership day.